We have a few days until Game 5 of the first round of the playoffs against the Los Angeles Clippers, and after yesterday's horrible loss, overcoming a 31-point deficit, changes need to be made. But the good news is, this is not the Dallas Mavericks of old, where we really do play our absolute best, and it just isn't enough. We lose when we don't play our best brand of basketball, as we saw in Games 1 and in Game 4. The good news is we have the personnel, we have the players, we have the know-how and the strategy to improve and move on. And not only do I have a few ideas, the Dallas Mavericks themselves had a lot to say after yesterday's loss on what they could do better moving forward. So in this video, we're going to break down some of those quotes and really try to get to the root of the problem and see what this team needs to do moving forward. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, 54.2% of you guys watching are not subscribed. I know you guys missed this graphic, but if you want to stay up to date with everything Mavericks related, the live streams, the giveaways, the news vids, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But yesterday's horrible loss to the Los Angeles Clippers was pretty tough. I mean, we were down by as much as 31 at one point, which we did overcome that deficit where we did go up by 1. And as quickly as we got it, quickly it went away. As in the fourth quarter, James Harden was hitting about 4 or 5 floaters back to back as Jason Kidd, for whatever reason, wanted to go small and put Maxey at the 5. And I get it. If you want to space the floor, that's fine. But that doesn't excuse Maxey for not stepping up and contesting these floaters that kept going in. You would think after the first or second one, maybe I should put a hand up. PJ getting blown by James Harden. Paul George hitting very, very, very heavily contested threes, which was absurd. I mean, the team shot about 62 some odd percent from 3, which is insane. And I know after game 1 where they shot 50%, we were all like, oh, they'll never do it again. And we were right. They weren't going to shoot 50%. They shot 60. So things need to do better. And even though in game 4, I felt like our perimeter defense was better, it wasn't a whole lot of open threes that they made. Those were very heavily contested threes that were just going in. And when that happens, what can you do? You just got to move on, play better defense. Hopefully your shot can fall in just as easily as theirs. And it feels like our 3-ball has been struggling as of late in this series, where we're really relying on our points in the paint, which is working for us. With Luka Doncic, I think he was like 1 of 9 from 3 yesterday, but he was getting to the basket by just backing down, posting up, back to the basket. He was getting those easy inside shots, which I thought he should have done more of. Like I said, there's a lot of things that we can learn from yesterday's loss, but the good news is that we can actually adjust. It's not like we played our best brand of basketball and still lost, and it's like, well, now what do you do? There's a lot that we can learn, that we can move forward with this team in games 5, 6, and if it goes to game 7, it'll go to game 7, but the good news is it's only 2-2. Even series. It'll be a lot different if we're down 1-3 or if we got swept. It would have been a lot worse, right? We can still win. We still have a chance. We're still going to fight. But let's break down some of these quotes after yesterday's game. Kyrie Irving on if he needs to be more assertive early, saying, I think I could be a better reader of the game. I kind of had the mentality just to come in and allow the game to come to me. I definitely can be better as one of the leaders of the team to come out and make my imprint felt a little bit earlier. And I think a lot of us can agree with that quote. Kyrie, I think, had 0 points in the first quarter. And normally Kyrie is reserved for the second half of the game. Fourth quarter, Kyrie, we all know who the man is and what he does. I think he's averaging over 20 points in the second half of this series and in every game in quarters 3 and 4. 20 points a game. It's amazing. It's great to have a closer. However, whenever Luka, who our number 1 main guy isn't getting things going in the first half, that's when Kyrie may need to step it up, probably be more aggressive. And we saw that aggressiveness down the stretch where late in the second quarter, he had 9 straight points to try to bring us back in this game. And then in the fourth quarter, he was just turning the ball over. He ended the game with 7 turnovers. Not blaming Kyrie. Not saying he's the reason why we lost. I think that you win when it comes to the playoffs, you win as a team and you lose as a team. But those turnovers were really tough. You could tell that he was really trying to force the game to him. And Kyrie's a very smart individual. Has one of the highest IQs in the NBA. He knows what he needs to do. He's been here before. This isn't his first rodeo. He knows what he needs to do, and if he's got to be more aggressive and more assertive early on, that may be the move. A lot of people are saying maybe Kyrie needs to take control of the offense early. Maybe it needs to flow through Kyrie, and we use Luka as like just a weapon. Instead of letting Luka go ISO, Luka, you're going to be our spot-up shooter. Luka, we're going to pass it to you down low so you can score instead of just pass Luka. wait for the shot clock to wind down, and then he throws up a shot. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we can try something different. I've seen people talk about it, and obviously none of us are coaches. None of us are GMs. None of us are players. But there are some things that the team may want to try differently. Hopefully, Jason Kidd can see just what we see, right? But this other quote from Kyrie Irving is very important as well. Kyrie Irving on Luka Doncic struggles. Knowing how well he knows the Clippers, I know he wants to play well, and I know he wants to make a bigger impact than what he's doing now, even though he's almost averaging a triple-double. He's a young kid in the playoffs going against a team that beat him twice. There's a little bit of mental fatigue there, and I think that's absolutely true, and that's the bigger picture in all of this. Luka Doncic lost to the Clippers twice in his career already in the playoffs. He wants that get back. He wants that smoke. He wants to get over that hump. A lot of people before the series were saying, well, Michael Jordan, his little roadblock was the Detroit Pistons. And he got over that and became a great player. Maybe this is the Pistons for Luka Doncic. He's got to get through the Clippers, move on, and maybe have a better run. Now, obviously, we all know Luka Doncic is not 100%. That knee has been bothering him, and we saw in games, Game 3, Russell Westbrook was pretty much attacking Luka, kept hitting him. He fell at his knee. And in Game 4, he fell and hit his knee again. So it stands to reason that Luka isn't playing 100%, and a lot of people are saying, well, if you're not 100%, why don't we rest Luka? If he feels like he can still play and contribute to a win, you got to respect it. But at the same time, I understand. If you're going to be a detriment to the team out there, don't be on the court. Get your rest. And I might be alone on this. If Luka doesn't play yesterday, I feel like we still lose. But at least Luka gets a day off. So on Wednesday, Game 5, he's even that more well-rested. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. It's good to know that Kyrie Irving, not only is he a leader in this team, but he looks at Luka like an equal. Not like he's just some guy on the bench. Not like, oh yeah, this is your team, I'm just here. He looks at Luka like an equal, and he wants to uplift Luka. He wants to help Luka get through this roadblock in his career that is the Los Angeles Clippers. And again, if maybe we need to change our offense, maybe we need to adjust to what Luka can do. I mentioned it before that when you're a shooter, your range comes from your legs. That lift off, that jump from your jump shot is how you get those long range shots. And in Game 4, a lot of Luka's shots were just hitting the front of the rim, or I think maybe one or two were air balls. He doesn't have the lift to get those long range shots. And I would hope that if he sees that early in the game, stop taking threes. I don't need you taking like 9 or 10 threes a game if you're only going to make like one of them. Please attack the basket. But in the same token, if you're not feeling that comfortable attacking the basket because you're worried about your injury, I get it. But pass the ball, Luka. Hopefully, not only does Kyrie know that needs to be changed, I hope Luka knows what needs to be changed. But the quotes do continue. Jason Kidd on going small in the fourth quarter with Maxi Kleber over Derrick Lively and Daniel Gafford. He said, offensively, we needed to space the floor. Maxi did a really good job there. Being able to stretch the floor was the option we went with. Really? Really, Jason Kidd? I have tried to refrain from blaming one individual for our loss because, I said it earlier, in the playoffs, you win as a team and you lose as a team, unless your name is J.R. Smith and you're on the Cavaliers, but that's another story. But, Jason Kidd, we are going small, that's fine. Is it working, though? I understand the thought process, but is it working? If you see James Harden attacking the basket and there is nothing stopping him on two back-to-back baskets, please put in Daniel Gafford. Please play Derrick Lively. I think Derrick Lively played 18 minutes and Daniel Gafford only 16. Why aren't they playing 20-plus apiece? Why aren't we trying to stop the paint? Yes, they were hitting crazy 3 after 3 after 3, and it felt like they would just not stop making threes. In that moment, just let them keep shooting threes. You can't make 100%, right? But I get it. You would rather them make a 2 than a 3, but at the same time, if we're going to let them score, why can't we get a bucket? Why are they going on a run? I think Maxi's defense has been great, but in those last 3 minutes of a game, whenever Jason Kidd wants to go small and put in Maxi, it just doesn't help us. I can't remember a time where it did help us. I think Maxi's better early in the game if you want to go small, but not in the crunch time, not in the clutch where teams see a weaker defender like Maxi and they're going to let James Harden, who's guarded by PJ, which I think PJ's better at guarding forwards and bigs than he is guards, because James Harden was just blowing right past him, and when he got past PJ, there was Maxi standing there doing nothing for nobody. You know what I mean? So Jason Kidd, you probably never see my videos. You'll probably never know who I am. If you ever do see this, please do better. For the sake of the Mavericks and the sake of the Mavericks fan base, please do better. Stop with the small ball stuff. Before the season started, I even said I don't think we need to go small. I think we're fine running big. They got to play to us. Stop trying to play to them. But that's not all that was said. I asked Derrick Jones Jr. What needs to happen in Game 5 for the Mavs to win, saying play like how we played from the second quarter on. Just be aggressive. Whatever looks we got, get downhill. Put some pressure on the paint. Just be aggressive and not be timid and lock up defensively. Just play all 48 and not just try to play one half or play three quarters. We just got to lock in all 48. And Derrick Jones Jr. is absolutely right. That first quarter kind of did it in. I mean, we did come back, though. We were up by one late in the fourth. And if we didn't have that abysmal deficit, maybe we won, maybe things fell apart. We could play the what-if game all day. But what Derrick Jones Jr. is saying is absolutely right. He played great in Game 4. I think he's been great all series, but Game 4, he was phenomenal. His defense was amazing. He was hitting his threes. He was being aggressive, getting rebounds. Derrick Jones Jr. is phenomenal for us, and I say it all the time. I hope we can bring him back because he is essential for this team. I'm liking him over Dante Exum, which I hope Dante brings it together. I hope Dante can find his usefulness with this team in the playoffs and not just we throw you out there for 8 minutes and we got to pull you back because you're not doing nothing, right? But Derrick Jones Jr. is right. We got to play with the same intensity, the same aggressiveness from the jump, from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. I've said it a lot of times. I feel like the first quarter they try to feel out the game, see where it's going to go. But if you do that every game, sometimes it's going to run away from you. Sometimes it's just going to just run from you. I think only one game so far out of the 4 games, we were actually leading out of the first quarter. 3 games where first quarter ends and we're down, we're constantly trying to play back instead of playing ahead. And I'd like to see that change in games 4 and 5. So to what Derrick Jones Jr. says about that aggressiveness and not being timid and playing the full 48, I agree. We got to have that intensity because I don't want to be a first round exit. If we're going to lose, let's lose to a better team than the Clippers. But the last quote that we're going to look at is from Luka Doncic himself, saying, Luka Doncic on Kyrie Irving, saying, I just got to help him more. I feel like I'm letting him down. So I got to be there. I got to help him more. He's giving everything he has, and he's been amazing for us the whole series. And that shows a lot of maturity. And I've said before, I don't think Luka Doncic has played with a player whose talent level is this close to his, or some may think Kyrie's better than Luka. You can argue either way. Even when we had Kristaps Porzingis, I was like, Luka's leagues ahead of Kristaps. No matter what second fiddle we try to put next to Luka, they were not that close. But now Luka has a co-star, a real co-star, who is in that same level of talent as him, and he feels it. He's like, I'm letting him down, and it's good to know that Luka's not using the injury as an excuse. They did ask him about it. He continued to say the knee's not really that good, but no excuse. If I'm out there, I'm going to play. Rightfully so. Again, that shows the maturity of Luka Doncic as a leader and as a player, and it's good to know that he is aware enough that what he's doing is affecting the team. Taking that ownership, taking that accountability is very huge in a player. He's not shying from the criticism. He understands it. He accepts it. And I'm just hoping that in the next few days, Luka gets some rest and it just fuels him to just go off. Because we know Luka is just known to drop 30, 40 points a game in the playoffs. He's a playoff riser doing great things. But this injury is starting to hold back Luka, where even though he's averaging almost a 28-point triple-double so far in 4 games, it's not efficient. I saw a post earlier where he's taken, I think, 25 more shots than Kyrie Irving, but only 1 point more than Kyrie. That's not efficient. That's just chucking up the ball and just hoping things go in. So with that, I hope in the next few days, Luka Doncic gets the rest he needs. I hope the whole team gets the rest that they need. And hopefully we come back Wednesday ready to fight, ready to win in LA so we can bring it on home for Game 6 and move on to the second round where we will most likely see the Oklahoma City Thunder. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for making this far to the video. Make sure you check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member on Wednesday at halftime during our live stream. I will be announcing the winner of the free jersey giveaway. And it's not too late. If you want to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is become a channel member of any tier, and you're in. But until next time, y'all take care. Peace.